guess this is kind of a face reveal. So, hello, I'm Brighton, and this is a spicy ASMR video. I'm sorry, the camera quality is really, really shitty, but I have this nice USB mic, and I think it sounds good. My mouth is making really awful noises right now, I'm so sorry. I like to use it for recording music, if I ever do. Shout out to me never posting any of my content. This channel has been kind of like dead, and I'm sorry about that. I always think about it though. So know that you're in my thoughts and in my heart. Yeah. So obviously this is very different from my normal content. But I've thought about doing a joke ASMR video for a long time. And I actually really like ASMR. So this is like kind of a joke, but like kind of serious at the same time. So like, I don't know. If ASMR isn't your thing, I totally get that. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about Great Comet today, and I'm gonna show you some Great Comet memorabilia that I have. So you can see Josh Groban poking out behind me. I have like a poster from the show. As you can see, the camera is mirrored. There's also some more Great Comet stuff poking out like here. I was able to do the cast recording thing when they were like, hey, we want fans to be on the album. So I was like, heck yeah. And I signed up to do it, and I got picked, which is really fun. So I got to do that recording with Dave Malloy and Josh Groban, and then Alex Gibby was there, and Katrina Yockey was there, and it was really fun, and there were a lot of people there, and that's where I got my egg shaker. I never actually got one when I saw the show. I was blessed enough to see the show like 3 times. One of the times was on stage, because when they announced closing, I was 1, sad boy, 2, really wanted to sit on stage so that I could like have that experience before they closed. And it was like really iconic and amazing. My nose is running, hold on. Yeah, sitting on stage like really changed the way that I thought about theater, and basically made me realize that Rachel Chapkin is a god. And it was just so fun and like fascinating to be immersed in a show like that, because I've never had that experience before, and it was really freaking cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to pull out, I have like a little like list of things that I want to do so I don't get sidetracked too much. I'm gonna bring out some playbills that I have from the times that I've gone to see the show, and my egg shaker. You can hear the egg shaker in this box. This is my show program. Oh, you can hear the egg some more. Shh, egg, it's okay. This box is very heavy. There's a lot of playbills in it, and my mic is falling over. Hold on. This is a disaster, I'm so sorry. Gay disaster. Let's see if I can do this without, like, destroying the earth. Okay. There's a lot of nonsense going on in this box. I'll see if I can find my Comet playbills quickly. I should have done this before I started filming. Whoops. Maybe this sounds good. I don't know. Hold on. That's kind of nice. I used to hate any ASMR videos that had like talking in them, but I watched some ALB in nice. Okay. I have all my playbills out from Comet, and I will get my egg out in a second, but it makes a lot of noise, so I'm going to wait for a second. If either of my parents comes upstairs, I swear to the Lord. Okay, hold on. Let's relocate the mic again. The stand makes so much freaking noise. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm not very good at this. Okay, so this is from the first time I saw Comet, I think. I'm going to look at the slips and things inside to see if I can figure out and maybe not have my mic fall down on the ground. I'm using the box for the mic as like a little stand, but it's not working because I'm sitting on a bed and it's really wobbly. Okay, my foot is currently holding the mic in place. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try. I'll be darned if I don't try. Also, my closet is back there and it looks ugly, so I put a sheet over it. Yes, we have slips in here. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so we have a swing slip, which is mirrored, and it looks whack right now. I wonder if I can change the mirror angle while I'm recording. Yes, I can. That's fun. Okay, so this one. Now I look like a potato because it's not mirrored anymore, but that's okay. So this is from the first time I saw Great Comet. And there's a slip in here. What day was this? This is December 9th, 2016 at 8 o'clock p.m. So this was Blaine Alden Krause's first performance as a swing, Mary Page Nance's first performance as a swing, and Chauvin Ryan's first performance as a swing. So that's like really freaking cool. I didn't even realize that was something that I got to see. Yeah, that's really neat. I didn't know that I had this. Wow, things that you learn. And then this is like the normal slip that they give you. Let's see who was on today. I think this was like full cat. No, wait. Okay, I never got to see Kelsey Bell until the last time that I saw Comet. She was always out when I went to see it. So I think the only person missing is Kelsey, but everybody else. It looks like everybody else was on normally, I think maybe some ensemble tracks were being swung because there are swings that were making their debut, but you can look at this slip if you want and pause it. I don't know. Oh yeah, Paloma was in it at this point. We love a queen. The stage tour for the show was so lovely. Here's the not reversed playbill. I'm gonna see if I can identify some of the signatures on here. Oh man, the photo that we took with Lucas Steele was so awkward because I was like, he came out and he wasn't talking at all. And I felt really bad because obviously he had a really tiring show, and I just felt horrible asking for a photo, so I was just cringing in the photo, and I made a face like, and it's immortalized on Facebook, and I regret everything. I'm trying to remember if this was the show. I think this was the one that I fell down the stairs. We were sitting in the last row of the mezzanine, and I'm not using this three-dimensional mic to its fullest potential. I'm sorry if I move around like an idiot. We were sitting in the last row of the orchestra. No, not the orchestra, the mezzanine. And at intermission, because I had listened to the show beforehand, and I knew that Act 1 ended after the ball, so I always do that when I go to shows. I make sure that I know what number is ending Act 1 if there's an intermission, and there's a program that tells you when it is, just that I can like get to the bathroom really quickly. And I tripped and fell down the stairs. That's the first time. There's more than one time that I fell down the stairs in the Imperial Theater. Okay, so I fell down the stairs going to the bathroom during intermission, and I was really giddy and happy, so I didn't really care. But then at the end of the show, I was bawling my eyes out like an idiot. I had a bag of merchandise with my poster, and I think my t-shirt. I think that's when I got my t-shirt. I don't remember whether I got my t-shirt then. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I had my arms full of like all my stuff. I had like a little like messenger bag kind of thing. I had my coat. I had my poster bag, which is like really inconvenient to carry around in Manhattan anyway. So we all get up before bows because we want to get a good spot at stage door. And we get up and we start going down the stairs as like the blackout is happening and the comet is fading and stuff like that. And I just totally eat shit and fall down the stairs, and I couldn't hold on to anything because I had stuff in my hands, so I just like slid down the stairs, and I had these like crazy bruises on my shin afterwards. It really hurt actually, but like at least it was Great Comet and not like a show that I didn't enjoy seeing or something, so like I don't know, it felt kind of worth it, but like, you know. Okay, let's see. Britton Ashford's signature is pretty easy to see on most playbills. It really just looks like her name. Lucas always takes like directly on top of the logo if someone hasn't taken it yet. He's this like extra swirly one. You can kind of see the L and the S there. I don't know that I'm gonna be able to identify all of these. It's been a while. I think there's like, yes, there's a purple Sharpie, and I think is that Pearl? I don't remember. I know Pearl Ryan, one of the like lovely, beautiful ensemblists, always had a purple marker so that people wouldn't steal hers. Because having markers at stage door is hard sometimes, especially when there's like a cast of like almost 20-something people, and everybody is going out of stage door. Not everybody. Amber Gray rarely came out of stage door, and there were like a handful of people who just didn't, and that's fair. I respect that. Sorry, that was my headphones. But yeah, she always carried a purple marker so that people wouldn't steal her Sharpie. And I think this is hers. I could be totally wrong. Wow, I'm having a rough time. I think this one that looks purpley is hers. I could be wrong though. This like more like bold one at the bottom is Billy Joe Kiesling, I think. And then the like really loopy one, not like loopy as in like crazy, but like, you know, like circly, scribbly looking one is Sumaya Ali, who's also like a really beautiful ensemblist creature, and I love her. Oh geez, I'm trying to remember these people's signatures, and it's really hard. Who's B? Oh geez. I think Josh Groban is also on the logo here, because he has like a very like huge signature. I actually have like a little postcard from the recording session, and it has his signature on it, and he wrote a smiley face in the G because he's a dork like that. You can't really see it, but that's okay. Yeah, so that was my first time at the Comet, and it was really iconic, and we like screamed very loudly for a pierogi, and we managed to get, technically, okay, should I get into pierogi debate or not? I don't know. Technically, the type of pierogi that they had at the show were not like pierogi, they're like pierogi, which are Russian. Pierogi they're Polish, and they're made of pasta, but the ones at Comet were like a yeast dough, which is what makes them different, so it's more like a little bun with like, it has some sesame seeds on it, and then like a nice spicy potato onion filling. We managed to like get one, and we like shared bites of it, and it was like really cute and shit. So yeah, that was my first time at Comet in 2016. And then, is this the second one? Yes, okay. So obviously this is over the summer because this is a Pride bill, which is really cool. I love having Pride bills because it's like, well, one, like Pride, but also like it's easier to remember when you saw a show because it was sometime during June that you saw it. I believe this was Dave's quote-unquote last performance, but we all know that's not the tea. Let's see if I have any slips in here. I think I have a slip floating around. Oh, I have my ticket in here. That's fun. I feel like I have a slip from one of my playbills floating around in my room, but I'm not sure where it went. I think it might have been from this particular performance, but I think it was June 27th. Maybe. I don't know that the date is that important. this was supposed to be Dave's last performance as Pierre, but the whole like oak nonsense happened, and he had to go in to finish the show. Honestly, the whole like casting scenario with like Mandy and Oak and like conflict between people, I don't know. I don't necessarily have an opinion. I just feel like, you know, things happen sometimes. And I appreciate Dave Malloy for going in there and being like, you know what? I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna do it because I know the role and I've been doing it already, so I'm just gonna do it. And I really respect that. Because I don't know, that's like just a really, I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to remember what the word is. It's just like really nice of him that he stepped up to do that. Because he definitely did not have to. He was already like doing like a limited engagement. Oh, no, I do have my slip. We saw Shobha Narayan as Natasha. Lovely, lovely Natasha. I love Shobha so much. Still had Courtney Bassett-on for Mary. Also, really great Mary. Love her. We had Ken Clark as Andre and Bolkonski. Really fun. I feel like, yeah, I saw 3 different Bolkonskis, which was kind of fun to see. I'm just realizing that now. I think other than that, everybody else was on. And then there might have been some switch around within the ensemble. But yeah, this performance. I love how excited I got. This performance, we were sitting up in the mezzanine again, but we were in the center section, directly above the little walkway that was built up there. And that was an experience. If the show is still running, rest in peace, honestly, I would recommend sitting there, but only after you know the show really well, or you've seen the show from a different perspective, because I find that the action happening on the walkway can sometimes be distracting from the main action happening like further down in the theater. I imagine if you haven't seen the show before, you'd be really lost sitting there. This was a really fun time. I sobbed like a crazy person at Dave's Dust and Ashes. It was really beautiful. Shobha Narayan, an incredible Natasha. She's doing Hamilton now, which is really fantastic, and I think that's really good for her. What else? We think that we might have been there when someone was bootlegging the show. We've seen a bootleg, and we think we hear ourselves screaming in the bootleg, but we aren't sure. So that's interesting. Here's the ticket. I don't know if am I allowed to like show this? Probably. For your mezzanine. Fun stuff like that. Let's see if there's anything else stuck in here. It's possible that there's just nothing else in here, and that's okay. But you'll hear some nice paper noises, I guess. Let me lean closer. Oh, Alex Gibby. Oh, I love him. Oh, Reed Luplow. Oh, I love my boys. Oh, also, I think, who was debuting? There was a swing thing on the back of the slip. I think it was Brant. No, wait. No, not Brant. Oh my gosh. Who is it? Why don't I remember? I saw it like 2 seconds ago. Oh, I'm a fake fan. It was, no, Brad Giovanni. Yeah. We love a man. Okay, hold on. Let's see if there's anything else stuck in here. I don't think there is. Nope. Okay. Second time at Comet. Do I have anybody else's signatures on here? I think there's just like a different configuration of signatures on this particular playbill, which is cool. Oh, I'm seeing Paul Pinto this time a little bit more clearly. Is that Pearl again with a purple marker? Oh geez, it's hard to remember people's signatures unless you have like a photo and like had them identified before. Some people I've committed to memory, like Lucas has very like his is almost like a bit more legible than others, but his has very specific like loops in it, so I've kind of like committed it to memory because I love him so much, and I hope he's having a good day. time at Comet. Okay. Oof, my leggy hurt. So, oh geez, what's in here? Oh, it's a digital ticket. Okay. So, third time at Comet. Last time at Comet, rest in peace. I went to a show the day before closing. I went to the matinee, and I got to sit on stage, which was an incredible experience. What day was this? This was September 2nd, I think. Excuse me. Okay. Yes, okay, so I had Dave as Pierre because he was finishing the run. They don't have the date on this slip, which is kind of weird, but like I'm just kind of going with it because like okay. Danae was on for Natasha. This is finally when I got to see Kelsey. She's a lovely little gal. I love her so much. And I got to see Blaine on for Andre and Volkansky. And at this performance, his wig fell off during private and intimate life, and it was really hilarious, and he handled it so well. Also, like, I think in the prologue, Josh Canfield, like, put his hand on my shoulder and was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hey." And then lots of like shoulder touching. And then later in the show, Lucas freaking put his hand on my shoulder, and like I didn't know who it was at first because like he was coming down from the staircase next to where I was sitting, and he like used my shoulder as like some kind of like just for like stabilization. And then I like look up and it's just Lucas Steele in front of me. I was kind of like, I was really shook. I was like screaming on the inside. But where I was sitting, I'm gonna reverse the mirror again because like I look weird. Hi. Yeah. Where I was sitting, I'm trying to like. No, there's not a map in here. That would be weird if there was a map in here. But like, on stage, if you're looking at the stage from the audience perspective, like not on stage. So you have the double doors in the center, obviously. Then you have the banquettes on the left-hand side, like house left, where you're looking onto the stage. It's technically stage right, but I was sitting like in the front banquette, the very like small one, right on the edge. And it cut off some of the view because like the proscenium that they built almost wrapped around a little bit. So like a few moments that were like far on house left were a little bit cut off. I apologize for bringing up the volume a little bit. My voice is getting a little bit tired from whispering. Whispering is not really good for your voice, but I'm doing it for the art. Yeah, sitting on stage was like such an incredible experience. Like you would literally get like a breeze on stage from the ensemble running past you, and you would be able to see so much more detail in each person's like process and each person's like arc of the show. Like really incredible experience. I don't want to like get too into it and like crazy, so I'm just gonna like move on with this so I can get into other things. I don't think there's any other stuff. I don't think there's any other things in this, but this one is clean on the front because I was too busy crying and dealing with the show closing that I did in the stage door. I also went by myself. My parents dropped me off in front of the theater, and I went, and I hadn't eaten much all day, and I was very hungry, but it was a good time. So those are my playbills. I'm going to get my egg son. Come here, son. I have to be very careful because she's noisy. Shh. Okay, this is my egg. As you can see, she's beautiful. Yeah, I didn't get this during the show, but I did bring it with me to the last performance, so I had an egg shaker just for insurance. I think I also brought it to the second show, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember remember, but I did have this with me during the last show, and it was really fun because I was sitting next to a person that I didn't know, and during intermission, I was checking my bag to make sure that my egg shaker was still there, and I pull it out, and I'm like, ah, and then the person sitting next to me like also pulls out their own egg shaker from their bag, and I was like, ah, and I'm like, you're right. But yeah, I wonder if I can like make some more subtle egg shaker sounds without it being obnoxious. Hold on. I love my little egg son. Okay, so I think I'm gonna show you some of the Comet book, which is also like a really cool thing that I managed to get my hands on. It was unfortunately after the show closed, but I still have it, and I'm very glad that I do. I just muted the mic by accident. Hello, hi, sorry. Readjusting my legs because they hurt. How can I record this in a not disgusting and awful way? Okay. Oh, crap. We love that. So, I think I'm gonna flip the camera again and look like a potato for the art. Also, the lighting is a little bit whack because I'm filming in my room and there isn't much light where I'm filming. I'm filming on my bed. So I have like a lamp that I took from downstairs to use as a source of light because you can't see much over here when there is not an extra light, and I look kind of washed out, but it be like that sometimes. I really do. I'm trying to see if I can like use my foot as a mic stand, but it's not really working. It's very hard. Microphones are hard. Honestly, people who do ASMR, like people who are like, ASMR is so stupid. Like, people work so hard to do it, and like they get really good cameras, and they get really good microphones. This one's like video, right? But people who do ASMR work so hard. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Comet. Okay. This is the Great Comet book, and oh, someone just blew their nose. I'm sorry, that was weird. And the cover, you can't really see it that well, but it's like, it's not embossed, but it has some three-dimensional stuff on it. And then on the back cover, it's like a little description, and Danae and Josh from like the poster and like all the promo stuff. I'm gonna take the sleeve off so it doesn't make a lot of crinkling sounds, because crinkling sounds make me feel weird, even though that's like a common ASMR trigger. Not my favorite. I hope you understand. I was about to like use the microphone as though it were a camera and show you what the cover of the book looks like, but it's just the Great Comet logo again. And this time it's shiny, and I don't think it's three-dimensional. No, it's not three-dimensional, but it still looks cool. And then the spine, I like the design of like the cover without, the like binding of the book without the little sleeve, because it looks kind of like an older like book that you might find like something Tolstoy published in, which I think is fun, and I think that was purposeful, obviously. And then on the back, it's a little embossed gold comet, and it's really cute. So, the inside, a lot of people brought their books to Stage Door to have signed, which I think is really cute. The inside is like the pattern of the flooring inside the theater. Like on the platforms on stage and stuff. It's really fun and cute and stuff. What do I want to look at? I think I wanted to look at Dave's piece. I might read some things just because it probably sounds better than me rambling for 12 years. Okay, I'm gonna generally give you some book. Oh, this is really nice. There's a lot of really, that wasn't English. Excuse me. There's a lot of like really lovely prints of some photos. This one is really cute. I don't know. Wow, this is really hard to do. Hold on. They're very cute and I love them a lot. I don't know that this book is available in stores anymore because I saw it at a lot of Barnes & Nobles, slowly going further up in percentage on clearance. I think I got this for 30% off because it was after the show closed and they had like a ton of copies. I might suggest going to a Barnes & Noble and asking if they have it like in a back room or something, because they might. If not, it's probably available online still. I don't know, maybe. This is another really nice photo, and I think this is from ART, or American Repertory Theater, where the show originated. No wait, actually the original production was Ars Nova, but this was one of the productions in the process of going to the Broadway. The end of Pierre, I think. This is, no wait, sorry. Books are hard. I believe this is Scott Stangland as Pierre. And then, if you look really closely, you can't see it because this camera quality is awful, but you can see some cast members that started at American Repertory Theater that were still in Broadway production, which is really fun. You can see, I see Lauren Saccharin, I see Lulu. Oh, Lily Cooper is in there. Lily Cooper, she's going into Tootsie on Broadway, which is exciting. Also from SpongeBob and Spring Awakening and things like that. Who else do I see? I see a Kelsey. I see a Courtney Bassett. I just think I see a Josh Canfield. It's hard to see people upside down. I don't know. A glorious light in the sky. That's a nice phrase. Good job, comic book writers. Our man, my dad, my nice uncle, David Malloy. There he is. He's doing a great job. I drew a heart. Thanks, Dad, for making this great musical and making me feel really cool and emotional and connected to people in the theater. That's really cool. I think I might read this section. I also kind of want to read Lucas's section, but I'm not sure how long it will take. So, let's dive in, because Dave's tone in writing is kind of funny, and I like it a lot. I'm gonna see if I can resituate the mic so it's not as awkward to read. Heck. Okay. Creating a Comet by Dave Malloy, author. For years, I've told the story that I first read War and Peace while working on a cruise ship, playing piano in the show band as a way for my landlocked girlfriend and I to stay connected. This is all true, but one piece of the story I had forgotten was that it was another friend, Parnell, a wonderful wizard and wicked dancer who lives on a Christmas tree farm in Vermont, who had first recommended the book. Thank God for a good Gmail archive. And he quotes, November 6, 2007. Hellos to you, Parnell, my good friend. Very long have the days been. Too long. I got your email, and the very next day went out and bought War and Peace, and I will start tonight in your honor. It almost seems comic to read it, you know. It's so henpecked as the ultimate too long, boring novel. People will stare and laugh at my hunched back on the train. But Anna Karenina is ever a favorite. I think that's how you say it. I'm bad with pronunciation. So I think we are in for a treat. I'll keep you updated on my progress. How far are you? ? And then a few weeks later, he quotes again. After a few false starts, I'm hooked now. Not too far. Just started part 2. But I love it so. The bear and the rum and name days and post-inspection vodka. And then there are the emails with the girlfriend, Carrie. Okay. Let's see what emails he has sent with it to his girlfriend, Carrie. It's like Anna Karenina times 10, which is good and bad. Goddamn read. Natasha and Andre, man. You have no idea. P.S. Oh, but Pierre. I know. He's all of us. Every seeker. End quote. I remember being so enthralled by the scope of Tolstoy's vision. The book was a trashy romance novel, a family drama, a hilarious farce, a military thriller, a philosophical scripture, a treatise on history, all wrapped into one giant, messy, nearly unmanageable tome. And then there was that section, Volume 2, Book 5. I think I read the whole 70-page slice in one sitting, staying up until 5 a.m. with a delirious obsession I usually reserved for Stephen King or Harry Potter. Up to this point, Natasha had been so mirthful and pure that her downfall seemed to come screaming out of nowhere. And then Pierre, his sudden righteous action, his heart finally alive, his simple kindness, the comet, it all happened so quickly. At the end of it, I read the last words, Into a New Life, with tears streaming down my face. I had the weirdest and clearest epiphany that this was the perfect story for a musical. Not that I would be the one to write it, though. At the time, I was living in San Francisco, and I had only barely written 3 very weird semi-musicals called Gogol, Sandwich, and Clown Bible. An icon, to be honest. That wasn't part of the book. I'm just commentating. I didn't really see myself as a proper musical theater writer. I had grown up on some movie musicals, The Music Man, My Fair Lady, West Side Story, and had great love for my well-worn CDs of Jesus Christ Superstar, Les Miserables, and Miss Saigon. But I hadn't really heard anything made after 1991. I hadn't even really heard a Sondheim show at that time, ! In parenthesis, for emphasis. That rhymed, whoops. I had thought that I would either be an avant-garde classical composer or an electric jazz pianist. Oh, Dave. But somehow theater kept creeping into my life. I got asked to do one show as a piano player, and from there I kept getting invited back. Next as a music director, then a sound designer, then a composer. Gradually, things that sounded suspiciously like songs started emerging, but still with some hints of my college days' post-industrial jazz noise tendencies, and the show started to sound more and more like proper musicals. In 2008, I had a hit with a rock opera called, I'm unsure of how the pronunciation of this, because I feel like I always say it wrong, Beowulf, A Thousand Years of Baggage, at the Shotgun Players in Berkeley, California. And that gave me a bit more confidence, but still not crazy enough. Sorry, let me try that again. But still not enough for that crazy War and Peace idea. It was just a wild fantasy, something provocative and snarky to toss out at parties. Then both Rachel Chavkin and Ars Nova came and saw Beowulf when we brought it to New York in 2009. Rachel liked it enough to kindly and amazingly invite me to do a show with her up at Vassar College that fall. One night, walking along the greens, I asked her if she had read War and Peace. She said she had in high school, but only had a hazy memory of it. So over whiskeys, of course, I told her the story of Natasha and Pierre. To my surprise, she seemed utterly unshaken by the audacity of the idea. Instead, she seemed just as sure as I was that this story could be a musical. And Ars Nova liked Beowulf enough to kindly and amazingly invite me to make a new show for them as their next year's composer in residence. Yes, Dave, you go get that residence. Remembering Rachel's enthusiasm, I sheepishly, awkwardly, half-jokingly, full-terrifiedly mentioned the Tolstoy idea. I really didn't think they'd say yes. I thought they'd say maybe something smaller. They said yes. First written pitch to Ars Nova, July 2010, and he writes, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812 is a sung-through musical based on Volume 2, Part 5 of Tolstoy's War and Peace. It is performed in a raucously drunken dinner club setting, not a diner, with no stage. The performers and audience sitting together at tables loaded with ice-cold vodka, black bread, dill potato salad, strawberries, cream, and chocolate. The action unfolds at various tables / places throughout the space. The musicians, 2 violins, 2 cellos, trombone, piano / accordion, guitar / auto harp, bass and percussion, several doubling as actors, are also dispersed throughout the space. End quote. I find it hilarious that the pitch has more ideas about the menu than the show, but the immersive nature of the staging was there from the beginning, inspired by an impromptu performance of Beowulf at a tiny loft space in San Francisco, where the stage literally could not hold all the action. The battle scenes had spilled into the audience, making the audience a part of the piece. And I had a solid outline too, because Tolstoy had plotted it out so well. The structure of the show came right off the page, with just the tiniest changes. Writing the libretto was primarily an act of subtraction. I started with a Word document of the entire unabridged Tolstoy, and just started whittling away, arduously molding Tolstoy's text into semi-lyrical form. I've often joked that in Tolstoy I had the best collaborator. Page turn. I've often joked that in Tolstoy I had the best collaborator because he is both brilliant and dead. Someone is outside. Hold on. Okay. I've often joked that Tolstoy and I had the best. I've also. Anyway, you know what sentence that is. And I knew that I didn't want to lose his voice. There's a hair on the mic. I knew that I didn't want to lose his voice. The experiment was to put a novel on stage, melodicizing Tolstoy's incredible narrative style. To that end, the rhymes were few and far between, and I often had the characters narrate their actions, sometimes speaking about themselves in the third person. So much of the brilliance of Tolstoy comes from his vivid detailing of his characters' rich inner lives. Every small social interaction is microprocessed, so that every glance, stare, kiss, blush, and whisper can encompass. Whisper. Tolstoy was woke. ASMR, lol. Okay. encompass an entire world of human experience. I also knew that I wanted to embrace both the old and the new, to be both sincere and reverent, yet knowing and sharp, communing with, but also commenting on the classicism of the novel, without ever lapsing into irony or parody. One of my favorite things about reading classics is finding those moments that feel startlingly contemporary, that remind you that human emotions have been the same for centuries. It's that connection that makes these stories timeless and cathartic. Cathartic is a great word, I love that. But there's also such rich opportunity for humor and illumination through anachronism, which means like putting things that don't belong in a certain time period in a different time period. So like basically Great Comet. So when you have like club wear and like electronic things happening in 19th century Russia, that is literally like a definition of anachronism. Okay. Okay, but there's also rich opportunity for humor and illumination through anachronism, colliding time periods to both highlight the similarities and revel in the bizarre and subtle differences between then and now. Finding that delicate balance of tone was a critical step in making the piece come to life. The music helped with this a lot, setting this archaic sounding prose to music that combines everything from Russian classical to post-Detroit techno helped create a new cross-century space where our characters could breathe fully, both as 19th century Russians and 21st century New Yorkers. In October 2010, I took a trip to Russia, and one magic and foggy and perfect night, my friend Anna and I found our way to the little place in Moscow called Cafe Margarita. We had to wait in the doorway until there was room for us at one of the many small wooden tables, each backed with pelmeni. Hold on. Hi. Sorry about that. My dad came into the room and was like, hello. And I was like, hi, Dad. Let's see if I can continue. There's only a couple pages left of Dave's bit, so maybe that's where I'll end it because this video is really freaking long. Something about pelmeni. Where was the pelmeni? Okay. We had to wait in the doorway until there was room for us at one of the many small wooden tables, each packed with pelmeni. Pelmeni. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but they're little Russian dumplings. And vodka and these bizarre handmade musical shakers, which everyone was shaking along to the incredible trio of a piano, a violin, and a viola as they played classical pops hits like Flight of the Bumblebee and La Donna e Mobile. Languages are hard. When we finally got a seat, I ended up inches from the viola player, hearing her counterpoint in my ear, watching all the laughing, joyous faces as people drank and shook and ate and laughed and shook and drank some more. I realized that this is where Comet needed to be set, not at a stuffy, aristocratic, wow, I know English, aristocratic dinner club, but at a raucous, democratic tavern with everyone playing along. We needed shakers on the tables. By the time we got to our first workshop in October 2011, I had a mess of a libretto with some sections still just full prose and about 10 songs, one for each character. Rachel and I cobbled together a cast of old friends, including Britton Ashford and Gail C. Bell, and threw something together in a week, approximating the staging by having the performers at music stands in 4 corners of the room. We invited scenic designer Mimi Leanne to the final presentation, telling her we wanted to make a show without a stage. Maybe bars, she mused. The following April, we had a second workshop, with Lucas Steele joining the family, and a couple of months after that, we had a full cast and a production lined up for the fall. Email to the cast, June 2012, quote, "Hello all," with 3 exclamation points. "So, we have a full cast for Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812 this fall. I am so completely thrilled and overjoyed to have each and every one of you to be a part of this. I think we're going to have an amazing time. Music is attached. I'm doing some more writing over the summer, so these will change a bit. Drinking will be radically rewritten, and there are 3 songs that aren't written yet. Letters, Fine Doings, and a pre-show song tentatively titled, look it up in your program, you're in a complicated Russian novel. What do you expect?" Drinking became the dual. Fine Doings, I still do wish I'd gotten that phrase became In My House. And looks like I settled on a shorter title for that first tune. We started rehearsing in August as we took over Ars Nova. I still remember the first time I saw Mimi's gorgeous curved runways snaking through the theater, completely transforming Ars Nova's architecture. I worked furiously on the orchestrations while also music directing and learning how to quote-unquote act, while Rachel played with our glorious cast and created a family. Tolstoy's celebration of the full spectrum of humanity, from Pierre's spiritual search and Natasha and Anatole's melodrama to the Bolkonskys' domestic nightmare, Balaga's supernatural exuberance, and all the rest, paints a profound picture of what it is to be human, with every outlook complementing and influencing the others, both directly and metaphorically. In the same way, Rachel let every actor be their most full self and put their own distinct stamp on the show, creating such a singular culture, such a beautiful and sublime, interconnected constellation of stars that I was, and still am, in awe. And from there to Casino, then to ART, then to Broadway, every step of the journey described in the following pages has felt so surreal and impossible. These heavenly bodies have continued to twist and shape into new and more glorious manifestations, every time building off what came before, but transcending into something more grand and rich. Something more grand and rich. How did this happen? Tolstoy wrote some words, I wrote some words and music, but the vague and fuzzy vision I had in my head of what the show would be was such a poor and pitiful glimmer compared to the bursting, soaring fireball it became. Once all those dozens and now hundreds of magnificent people, performers and designers, stage managers, prop masters, carpenters and electricians, and sound techs and seamstresses and everyone else got their hands on it. I get so humbled thinking about all the people who have built this show. It's not Tolstoy, it's not me, it's not Rachel, it's everyone. Pierre sees the comet about halfway through War and Peace. It's not an ending, it's another beginning. His heart continues to blossom and grow, and his life transforms again and again into wilder and more terrible, more beautiful and more profound things than he ever dared to imagine. And the Comet family is still blossoming and growing too. These incredible artists, some of my best friends in the world, continue to astonish and amaze me, to stop me in my tracks with their blinding and dazzling brilliance and light. To all of them, from the bottom of my soul, thank you. Spasiba. Thank you. I think I said that right. I took Russian on Duolingo for a little while. That was one of the phrases. I don't know if that's right, but it's basically Russian for thank you. He says thank you, thank you, thank you. Dave. That was cute. I love Dave so much. think I'm going to make that be it because this video is very long. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and for sticking through and being here on my channel and stuff. I really appreciate it. I know I've been kind of inactive, but I hope that this makes up for a lot of missing content. And I hope to get some more content out to you soon. I'm currently in school. Huzzah. And obviously, I'm paying for this education. So obviously, I'm going to be putting my schoolwork first. But if I have time to, I will be working on some new stuff. I've had stuff stored away for a really long time that I've been meaning to finish and get uploaded. But a lot of them have been hard to edit or hard to upload or really long projects. So thank you for sticking with me and for hanging out and listening to this crazy ASMR video. And I hope that you have a lovely day or evening or morning or whenever you may be watching this. Yes. Long live Comet. Yeehaw.